That's authorized personnel only!
Alright, I've spent more than a couple hours playing Zenless Zone Zero since it released yesterday early, and I have to say I have some thoughts about my initial impressions about this game. There are a lot of good things that I'm really enjoying, but there are also a lot of mechanics and bad aspects that I just don't like. And on that note, let's get started and talk about the game.
I'm pissed, and this station's reporter, I can't listen to this anymore. Those criminals need to get. As soon as we find them, we should just get them all, and then them again.
Now, I gotta start off by saying there's gonna be a lot of differing opinions about this game. I really enjoy some of the aspects, I really don't like other parts. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about ZZZ. And on that note, I'm going to start with combat because I think that this is actually really fun. Now, I know it's a really simplistic system compared to other games like Weathering Waves, etc., but it is a lot of fun just doing quick swaps, pressing spacebar, doing combos. I think they really nailed the fun aspect of this engaging combat. Now, I think it's really cool that like when Bella Bog does her ultimate, she actually does a combo attack with one of her teammates, Ben, right? So I think it's really cool that they kind of combo together to pull off her ultimate. And it's not just that, there's a bunch of other damage combos you can do integrating all these units together, and I think it really has to do with the factions and their relationship with each other. And to me, I think that's really awesome, right? So this is a really fun aspect to the gameplay, and I think they did this pretty damn well. Now, I also have to say that the character designs have a real Jet Set Radio Future feel about them. I really like this. In fact, Ben is one of my favorite characters. I think just having a burly bear, I know there's a lot of that whole furry bullshit with some of the other characters, but this is just a fucking Smokey the Bear guy with the freaking rocket tube launcher. Like, this is great. Like, this, I'm actually really happy that Hoyo is kind of branching away from the typical, character design that they do. But of course, it also leads to having furry children, which I think is a little weird. If that's your shtick, go for it, but maybe seek some help. And this kind of trails off to my second kind of dislike of the game, and it's this stupid monitor system. I'm sorry, if you like it, good on you, but it just feels like filler content. It feels like there aren't enough engagements for us to go battle. Like, the combat's the main aspect of the game that many of us enjoy, and you're spending a good chunk of time at just trying to pick the right monitor so you can get an engagement or get some loot. Like, I'll need pathfind my way to it. It's just filler bullshit. And I know some people are not going to like that opinion, and to be fair, I don't care because this is really damn annoying, especially when there's so much potential with the combat mechanics. Now, yeah, eventually you're going to land on a combat node on the monitor, and then you actually get to enjoy the good part of the game. But then after a quick 5 minutes of awesome combat, you finish the area and look where you are again, back at the Black Ops monitor screen. And like I said, I can't stand it. I don't know why they implemented the system. I get that the world is very small and that you're kind of doing missions going in and out. I understand, but they could have done a better mechanic for kind of searching our way. And I just don't think this was the right path to take. Now, when I take a look at the storytelling, the actual writing is okay, kind of bland. I'm sure it develops in the future, but the way that they're telling the story is kind of unique, doing the whole storyboard aesthetic. I don't mind it. I mean, I really wish they did more cutscenes, less of this filler, but overall, it kind of goes with the game design, so it could have been a lot worse. I even think the comic book approach to doing some of the artistic cutscenes is pretty cool as well. It's a nice filler. You're kind of going page by page, but you're getting the right animation. It has that, I guess, manga feel to it, and I don't mind it. Obviously, I'd prefer cutscenes, but overall, this isn't a bad way to narrate the story, especially when you're out of combat. Now, obviously, this could have been a cost-saving exercise, but it could just be the aesthetic they're going for. Again, overall, not the worst way that you can tell a story. Now, if I'm being honest, I much prefer the actual cutscenes, right? In-game engine, it looks good. It's funny. It's got good animations. I think this is a much better way to tell the story, but I could see why they had to do some of the filler quests with the storyboard / comic book aesthetic. But again, I think this is a much better way to tell the story. And I think the entire game is just based on comedy and just stupid slapstick, like modern day, obvious funny shit. And I don't mind it at all. But of course, I have some more negatives, and it's going to be this whole bullshit walking around Sims real life nonsense. I don't know why they had to put this in the game. I know it's kind of like Honkai and Hoyo's all about that, but I don't want to sit in a bed and scroll through my phone while playing a video game scrolling through my phone. This is freaking stupid. I'm sorry. If you like it, fine, but I think this is just a bunch of filler nonsense, and they put a lot of time into this where they could have instead given us maybe different areas to explore in the fighting side of things, right? When you go into the Hollow, so far it seems like the same 3 areas, right? So overall, I'm not a fan of that, and of course that also ties in with the whole running errands through the city. I think this is just monotonous bull. Like, why do I have to go talk to this unit and come back here? And I get it, a lot of those other games have fetch quests, but this is just another level of nonsense to me. I don't know why they put it in the game, and honestly, I don't like it at all. Now, I just really want to reiterate, there are some really good aspects of this game, especially the combat. Now, is it simplified? Yes. Is it somewhat watered down a little bit? You know, the combo system is really fun, and it's really easy, so I think a lot of players are going to be able to get in and hit the ground running, but I know some of the more seasoned veterans are going to be looking for more of a battle, and to that I'd say, you know what, go play Wuthering Waves. I love that game as well, but this is also a fun game for those that just want to play and have some really good synchronized attacks and just fun fights, right? You're not constantly sweating every 2 seconds to make sure the hologram doesn't one-shot you, right? So overall, I think this combat is a ton of fun, and you should definitely give it a try. The neat aspect is that they all feel unique. Like Vaughn, to me, reminds me of Yuan Wu, and just the overall martial artist. I think he's absolutely great, but look at these coordinated attacks. The fact that you can set them up together. In fact, I don't know why Nicole is not a 5-star. That ability is freaking awesome. But regardless, Vaughn to me is really damn fun. The fact that he's, like, again, a martial artist fighting, has all the ice abilities. They did a really good job differentiating the different 5-stars and making them all feel unique. Now, I know some people are going to have some, negative outlook on the combat. I know it's simplified, it's pretty easy, but I think it's got a really low barrier to entry to at least be somewhat decent, so I think it allows a lot more players to enjoy the gameplay and not be so stressed out when fighting. Some people like an easier game, some people like a harder game, and I think it's great that we have all these different options. Now, obviously, the game's going to get harder as we progress and we start doing some type of tower activity, so overall, it's definitely going to get harder. I just think as an initial impression review that this is a fun enough game mechanic where I think a lot of people can enjoy themselves and have a good time. They even added some characters that work off of dodge mechanics, though I'm not really a fan of this character overall. I just think that it's cool that, if you do a perfect counter, she can actually do more damage, and that's pretty cool as well. So I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be able to find a character that they want to play, though I really wish we had a selector. I think it's kind of crazy that we don't. I mean, yeah, sure, we have pity at 40 for the initial banner, but just let us pick the first 5-star. That way people are more willing to invest. But again, this is Hoyo we're talking about, so I guess they still haven't learned that lesson. Now, while I'm on the topic of wishing, I did do a couple polls of the signal searches in the game. And this animation's not bad, it goes with the aesthetic, but again, I think someone at Hoyo working on ZZZ has an obsession with CRT monitors, and I guess that's fine. But overall, it's cool, it's like trying to be a showcase, I don't mind it. I just think that it's a little bit long to skip between all the animations. Now overall, I think Zenless Zone Zero has some potential, but it needs a lot of work. I think the combat is a little too easy, in fact some people are playing blindfolded. I think that the monitor system really needs a drastic rework, and supposedly Hoyo is already trying to get rid of that. The overworld walking around the city could be simplified with some menus, and overall we just want more of the fluid combat. To wrap it up, let us explore the world. Let us go into the hollows, let us discover it that way. Don't force us to play with all this filler nonsense. And on that note, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thumbs up if you enjoy the content. A like really helps the channel. Comment down below, are you enjoying Zenless Zone Zero? Did you get the 5-star you wanted? Are you re-rolling? Are you enjoying the game? I want to hear about it below. And as always, please remember to subscribe. Halfway to 1,000. Can't wait to get there, and I'll see you on the next one.